Rachel Zegler has recently found herself caught in the middle of some serious fan backlash over her role in Disney's live-action Snow White remake. It's been quite the ride for her, especially after she made some bold comments about the original 1937 animated classic, calling it outdated and in need of a modern touch. But in a bit of a surprise move, Rachel's now doing a 180, praising the original as a beloved piece of cinematic history. Fans are definitely feeling confused and a little frustrated, with many accusing her of trying to win back favor with what feels like an insincere apology tour. It all started when Rachel wasn't exactly shy about sharing her thoughts on the original Snow White. She took issue with the film's love story, even going as far as to call the prince a stalker, and brushing off the romantic elements that so many fans have always loved. Her vision for the remake? A Snow White who's more about leadership and independence than dreaming of true love. While she was clearly aiming to bring a fresh, modern twist to the character, her comments really didn't sit well with a big part of Disney's fanbase, especially those who see the original film as a timeless fairy tale they grew up with. And the backlash? It was fast and fierce. Fans took to social media, expressing disappointment and even anger. For a lot of people, Snow White is more than just an old movie. It's a symbol of hope, love, and innocence. And Rachel's take on it being outdated really struck a chord with those who feel like she's missing the deeper meaning behind the classic. Things only got worse when Rachel admitted in interviews that she found the original movie creepy and had only watched it once, back when she was a kid. That just left fans scratching their heads, wondering why someone who doesn't seem to have much love for the original would be cast as the iconic Snow White in the first place. As the release of the new Snow White gets closer, this controversy is still simmering. Fans are now wondering if the heart and soul of the story they've cherished for so long will survive this new interpretation. Whether Rachel can win back some of those fans remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, this remake is going to be one of the most talked about Disney projects in a long time. So Disney and Rachel are really trying to turn things around with the Snow White remake. Just a few weeks ago, Rachel's comments stirred up a lot of controversy, but now she's changing her tune. She's been calling the original Snow White a monumental moment in cinema history, talking about how much it means to Disney's legacy and how honored she feels to be involved in this project. But let's be real, many fans are still pretty skeptical. It feels like a last-minute attempt to smooth over the backlash from what she said before. And honestly, who can blame them? The Snow White remake has been under fire for quite a while. Disney has been hearing the criticism loud and clear, especially after the first teaser trailer for the live-action version was met with a massive wave of dislikes on YouTube. Fans were not shy about sharing their thoughts, especially when it comes to the film straying from the classic story and swapping out the seven dwarfs for CGI characters they're now calling magical creatures. Things got even more intense when rumors popped up about some tension between Rachel and her co-star, Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen. That definitely didn't help matters. In a bid to win back the fans, Disney is rolling out a big marketing push, putting Rachel front and center. But here's the thing. Will this effort to rebrand the film as a heartfelt homage actually win over the skeptical fans? A lot of people still remember what Rachel said before, and social media is buzzing with criticism. Many are questioning how genuine her newfound love for the original story really is, with some even wondering if her PR team just cooked up this whole apology tour to dodge a potential box office flop. And let's not forget about the financial pressure. With production costs climbing over $200 million, Disney really needs this film to be a hit. While they've gotten some filming subsidies in the UK, the overall costs, including post-production and marketing, are likely going to be even higher. To break even, Snow White has to not just do okay, but really blow expectations out of the water. Can Disney turn this around before it sinks? So the new Snow White remake is really under the spotlight right now, and not in the way Disney hoped. With all the negative chatter buzzing around, it's got a tough road ahead at the box office. Disney's track record with live-action adaptations has been pretty hit or miss lately. Sure, films like Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King did amazing, But then there are flops like Mulan and Peter Pan and Wendy that just didn't capture that same magic. Because of this roller coaster, fans are getting a bit anxious, wondering if Snow White is headed for the same disappointing fate. And then there's Rachel Zegler, who's not exactly helping the situation. Her comments about Snow White have stirred the pot, and she's starting to come off as a bit ungrateful in some interviews. I mean, there was that moment when she joked about needing more money just to wear Snow White's iconic dress. Yeah, that didn't go over too well with fans. Her offhand remarks have created this vibe that she doesn't fully appreciate what she's been given, which is kind of a red flag for everyone involved. The stakes are really high for this Snow White remake. It's not only one of Disney's most expensive live-action projects, but it's also one of the most controversial. All this backlash has thrown a huge shadow over its release, and Disney's attempts to fix things with Rachel's apology tour might not cut it with the fans who are still skeptical. And let's talk about the marketing strategy for a sec. Instead of leaning into the nostalgia and magic that made the original Snow White a classic, Disney initially pushed this whole modernization angle, which left a lot of longtime fans feeling a bit lost. Now, as they try to pivot their messaging to meet what fans really want, it might be too late to turn the ship around. People have long memories, and Rachel's earlier comments are still making the rounds on social media, serving as constant reminders of the drama just as the release date is creeping closer. So the big question is, can Disney turn things around and win back the hearts of fans before it's too late? As we gear up for the release of Snow White, Disney is really hoping that nostalgia will drive ticket sales. But let's be real, with people getting pickier about what movies to see in theaters these days, the film's success isn't a guaranteed thing. Streaming services make it super easy for fans to just wait for Snow White to drop on Disney+. If there's no great reason to head out to the theaters, Disney might struggle to hit those big box office numbers needed to cover the film's hefty budget. The stakes have never been higher for Disney, especially amid the rapid changes sweeping through the entertainment landscape. As ticket prices soar, the allure of enjoying movies from the comfort of home becomes increasingly tempting. This shift has prompted studios to realize that brand loyalty alone may no longer be sufficient to entice audiences to theaters. In this competitive environment, Disney's upcoming live-action adaptation of Snow White must deliver something extraordinary to stand out. However, there are growing doubts among fans regarding whether the current approach will genuinely resonate. Disney is grappling with a considerable challenge as they endeavor to modernize this beloved fairy tale. Initial reactions suggest that their efforts may have backfired, resulting in a significant rift between the studio and its audience. The studio is now in a race against time to reclaim the loyalty of its longtime fans, who have grown increasingly vocal about their discontent. The expectations surrounding Snow White are immense, and any misstep could spell disaster for the franchise, which has already faced scrutiny over its recent live-action adaptations. A significant factor contributing to the growing controversy is actress Rachel Zegler's recent public relations efforts. Following backlash over remarks she made about the original Snow White, Zegler has embarked on what some are calling an apology tour. While her attempts to address the concerns raised by fans may be commendable, there is skepticism about whether they will truly alter public perception. For many, the original Snow White holds a special place in their hearts, and any perceived disrespect towards the classic is challenging to overlook. This sentiment complicates Zegler's position and raises questions about the potential effectiveness of her apologies in soothing frayed sentiments. Ultimately, the success of Snow White will hinge on its box office performance. If it can effectively navigate the surrounding controversies and foster a genuine connection with audiences, there may still be a pathway to success. However, if the backlash continues to linger, it could easily transform into yet another cautionary tale in Disney's series of live-action remakes. The challenge lies not only in crafting a film that honors the original while appealing to modern sensibilities, but also in repairing the damaged relationship with fans who feel alienated. With so much riding on this film, all eyes will be on Disney in the coming months. The studio has a critical opportunity to demonstrate that it can learn from past mistakes and evolve its storytelling for a new generation. The key question remains, can Snow White bounce back from this tumultuous beginning? As the release date approaches, anticipation will build around whether Disney can successfully pivot and address the concerns raised by critics and fans alike. Moreover, this situation underscores a broader trend in the entertainment industry, where studios must strike a delicate balance between honoring legacy works and making them relevant for contemporary audiences. The pressure is immense, and Disney's handling of this adaptation could set a precedent for future projects. In a time where streaming services and alternative entertainment options are abundant, audiences are not just looking for nostalgia. They crave innovation and authenticity in storytelling. As the clock ticks down to the release, the path for Snow White has proven to be anything but smooth sailing. Disney's next steps will be scrutinized closely, and the industry will watch to see if they can turn the tide on this adaptation. The outcome could reshape how studios approach beloved classics in the future, highlighting the importance of thoughtful engagement with fan expectations. Whether Disney can reclaim its audience and succeed in bringing Snow White to life once again remains to be seen, but the stakes couldn't be higher.